Many years back, I was working in Chikubo. Chikubo is the possibly Kampala's biggest trading market. I observed that the people who lifted heavy goods had so much strength. So I wondered, where do they get this strength from? And somebody told me they smoke hash, they use drugs. So, and then I would see them actually. They would sit down somewhere and smoke. And they are fired up, so they had all this energy. So what came to my mind was that these people, to be able to get the energy to work, had to use these drugs to be able to do the job well. But my first shock was when this challenge came to people I know very close. A friend of mine had a bipolar daughter who we had to support to get into rehab and get out. Again, even in my own family, I had challenges with the young people just using drugs because they didn't know the consequence. I got really concerned that drug abuse was a problem. And my visits to the US led me to believe that young African American boys were on drugs. So I looked back in my own university and I said, isn't it true that people in my university use drugs? I thought, well, I'm in a position of influence. I'm able to talk to students. I'm able to influence students. Why don't I make it my business to create awareness in them that drugs are a problem? About 4 years back, we launched a campaign in MOOPS with the Dean of Students and the Guild President. You may have seen our t-shirts within campaigns. And after that, I made it a point, whenever I'm talking to students, I raise the issue of drugs. There are many, many issues why young people use drugs. One is peer influence. I remember when I was young, I started smoking in senior one. Coming from a very strict family, how could I smoke? Peer influence. So it's not surprising that young people who come out here see others as heroes and they're using drugs and they also get on board. There are families where the parents are very hard on their children, to the extent that the children really get into depression. But these are things we don't look at here. If a child withdraws at home and keeps in the room and you don't take interest in it, very soon the child may be using drugs. Many of the wealthy people have had their children use drugs. Some of these habits are got from exposure of watching too much TV and seeing people use drugs. In this country, the musicians, those artists, frequently use drugs to give them stamina, to give them, the ability to go on the stage and perform ably without getting scared. These are heroes. So if somebody like that is using drugs, why not me as a young person? Drugs lead to memory loss. Somebody can run mad. People get permanent damage in their heads. It can lead to violence. There are all kinds of things that the consequence of drugs. And the consequence, besides the physical body, is changing behavior. I've talked about violence, but also once people get addicted, they need to be able to, they get hooked and they must find money to buy. And when they don't find the money to buy, I have heard from a family that somebody beat up his father. I've also heard, I cannot confirm this, but in this struggle, I've heard that a young man killed a mother to be able to get things to sell, to go and buy drugs. Some people take up the habit and work with it, and when they're going to make a presentation in their office, they go and use some of it. To me, it's saving lives. It's saving careers of these young people. It's helping to shape society. It's helping to get young people to not indulge into violence. These are lessons, and those who are able to pick them, they pick them. But if you don't talk about it, somebody will do things knowing it's okay. Because many of these young people are innocent. Many of them get into it unknowingly. And many get hooked without knowing that yes, they're getting hooked. So that's why I'm in this campaign. Yeah, and I want to advise parents, look out for your children. What are they doing? What company are they keeping? Children leave home and go for these parties. Where are they going? Who are they hanging out with? These are very, very important things.